Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Dr. Srinivas Medical Concepts and my FB page Dr. Srinivas Concepts. This is Dr. Srinivas, neurologist from Andhra Pradesh, India. I am also the medical author of the book Focused Neurology. Today we are going to talk about a very exciting topic, the stroke mimics and mnemonics. The stroke mimics and mnemonics. So we are going to discuss disorders which simulate or mimic stroke. We need to be careful about this because we may unnecessarily treat these disorders which simulate or mimic stroke and cause harm to the patient, and therefore we need to be very cautious. Stroke, as we all of us know, it's a focal neurological deficit due to a vascular cause. So there are few disorders which may mimic as stroke and present as stroke. Even experienced physicians and doctors have misunderstood these disorders as stroke and even have thrombolized these patients, causing harm to these patients. And therefore we have to be extremely cautious and careful when we deal with a person who is presenting with a stroke. In fact, when they've done a study, they found that 1 in out of every 5 persons were mistakenly diagnosed as stroke. That is, 20% of the patients were mistakenly diagnosed as stroke and were unnecessarily given treatment for stroke. So why is this stroke mimic very important? What is the significance of it? We may unnecessarily thrombolize the patient and may cause cerebral hemorrhage in the patient and may do more harm. And therefore, when a person presents with symptoms suggestive of stroke like weakness, aphasia or sensory disturbance, we need to be very careful and find out exactly whether it is really stroke or a stroke mimic. What are the causes of stroke mimics? What are the disorders which present as stroke? One of the important causes, one of the important diseases which presents, which mimics and simulates as stroke is hypoglycemia, a decreased blood sugar level. So decreased blood sugar level may present with confusion, may present with aphasia, difficulty in speaking, may present with motor deficits hemiplegia, and therefore a person who's got aphasia, confusion or weakness, we should not mistake it as stroke. We should evaluate properly, and if there's a history of diabetes or if he's on insulin take or oral hypoglycemic agents, especially on sulfonylurea, get a blood sugar level done. First, confirm whether it is hypoglycemia or not. Rule out hypoglycemia because it is a wonderful mimic of stroke. So always try to rule out hypoglycemia. In fact, it accounts to about 15%, approximately 15% of stroke mimics. The second is Todd's palsy. A person may have thrown a seizure. After seizure, he might have developed weakness. We call that as Todd's palsy. Post-ictal weakness. The weakness may go on for few minutes, sometimes even few hours. Again, we may mistake it to be suffering, we may mistake the person to be suffering from stroke and unnecessarily treat him. So it also accounts to about 15% of all these stroke mimics. So if there's a Todd palsy, we should always ask history of seizure, whether he had previous history of seizures, previous history of epilepsy. So when we get that he had previous histories of seizures, it is more in favor of Todd's palsy. So history is always important. When a person comes with symptoms suggestive of stroke, we should get a proper history. For example, hypoglycemia, we should ask history of diabetes, whether he's on insulin or hypoglycemic agents like sulfonylurea. For a person who presents with suggestive of stroke, we should always ask whether there are history of seizures in the previous episodes to rule out Todd's palsy, because Todd's palsy also accounts to as much as 15% of the stroke mimics. Then the complicated migraine or a hemiplegic migraine. Hemiplegic migraine, as the name suggests, the headache patients may present with weakness, what we call as a complicated migraine or a hemiplegic migraine. We have neuronal theory, vascular theory, where there is vasoconstriction. So hemiplegic migraine also presents as stroke. So we should always ask previous history of headaches. We all know that migraine is a recurring type of headache. So if they give that there are many previous episodes of headache and then the person has developed weakness, we should always suspect complicated migraine or hemiplegic migraine and always ask history of recurrent headaches. So complicated migraine. Another important stroke mimic is a bleeding into the tumor, which also accounts to about 15%. The tumors present slowly, gradually with headache, projectile vomiting. But if there's a bleeding into the tumor, it can present suddenly. So bleeding into the tumor is also one of the important stroke mimics. Bleeding into the tumor. So they'll have a headache, projectile vomiting. Projectile vomiting, generally what happens when we feel like vomiting, we have preceding nausea and then vomit. But these persons, because of direct vestibular stimulation, vestibular nuclear stimulation, they immediately vomit without preceding nausea. So projectile vomiting, early morning, especially early morning headache, you should always suspect that there must have been tumor and person might have bled into the tumor. Then another important stroke mimic is hysterical. Hysterical, that is, they act as if they've got stroke, but they are not actually having stroke. So we have to be very careful. So you should always get history, the history of attention seeking behavior, or the person has thrown tantrums in the previous period. But objectively we can confirm by a wonderful sign known as Hoover's sign. Hoover's sign is that Hoover's sign is based on the principle of associated movements. When we walk, when we take the right leg forwards, the left leg goes backwards. So it's an associated movement. Likewise, imagine person has got right hemiplegia and these are the legs. So when we try to lift the right leg upwards, the left leg automatically goes downwards. This is a normal associated phenomenon. We take advantage of this principle. So when the examiner keeps one hand on the supposed to be paralyzed right leg and the below the intact supposed to be the intact left leg. So when we ask the person, the patient who's got hysterical hemiplegia, this time on the right side, when we ask him to raise the right leg, he is acting, so he will not put any effort to raise the right leg. But if a person is truly hemiplegic, when he puts efforts to raise the right leg, which is not raising, he automatically puts the left leg downwards because it's an associated movement. And therefore the examiner can feel the power of the normal leg downwards. So if the person is able to feel, that means person is acting. It is a hysterical weakness which can objectively diagnose it by Hoover's sign. Another important stroke mimic is infections, which also accounts to about 15%. Though syphilitic meningitis and tuberculous meningitis are chronic process, infective process, when it affects vessels and can cause vasculitis and can present suddenly. So infections, which account for 15%, syphilitic meningitis and tuberculous meningitis can affect vessels, can cause vasculitis and can present with sudden onset of weakness, stroke mimic. Then as hypoglycemia presents with weakness with a stroke, even hyperglycemia also can present as stroke, or even electrolyte imbalance, hyponatremia can present as stroke. An elderly person going the hot sun, sweating, suddenly falling down with weakness, it could be hyponatremia. So always we have to check on the sodium levels, electrolyte levels and blood sugar levels to rule out hyperglycemia. Then history of head injury. Head injury can cause rupture of the vessels, either arterial rupture where there is extradural hematoma because of the middle meningeal rupture, it will be a torrential bleed, or a venous leak causing subdural hematoma. So there could have been a history of head injury, especially in the elderly. there could have been a history of head injury, a trivial head injury, they might have forgotten, but since they are old people, that minimal force is sufficient to cause the rupture of the veins and blood starts trickling down. So after a few days, they may start presenting with weakness because of subdural hematoma, and they might not give the history of head injury because it's a trivial injury, they might have themselves forgotten. So we have to be very careful. When we take CT scan, we can see nice subdural hematoma. Immediately evacuate the hematoma out, person will be absolutely alright. So head injury with subdural hematoma or extradural hematoma is also a stroke mimic. We have to be careful. The other stroke mimic is encephalopathy. Encephalopathy could be because of ammonia or it could be because of hypertension. They can also present as stroke mimic. So we have to be very careful when a person presents with stroke, because there are many stroke mimics and unnecessarily we should not treat them with the stroke protocol. And as many as 20% seems to be presenting with stroke actually are having stroke mimic. 1 in 5 patients. So hypoglycemia, Todd's palsy, bleeding into the tumor and infections account for 15% of each of these stroke mimics. So there are so many causes of stroke mimics. How can we remember it? There's a very interesting mnemonic by which we can remember these stroke mimics. The mnemonic is he bites. He bites. H-E. He bites. B-I-T-E-S. He bites. H-E. He. B-I-T-E-S bites. H you can put 4 because there are 4 H. So H4. H-E-B-I-T-E-S and H there are 4 causes. So what are they? H-E-B-I-T-E-S. He bites. For H, the first H is for hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. The second H is for head injury. The third H is for hemiplegic migraine. And the fourth H is for hysterical. So H-E-B-I-T-E-S. The first H there are 4 stroke mimics. E is for encephalopathy. It could be ammonia or it could be hypertension. B is for brain tumor. I is for infections. T is for Todd's palsy. E is for encephalopathy. It could be because of ammonia or hypertension. So he bites. The final S is the stroke mimic. All these contribute to the stroke mimics. So always easy to remember the stroke mimic as mnemonic is he bites. H-E-B-I-T-E-S. H there are 4 H, E, B-I-T-E, which are all causing the stroke mimics, that is the final S. So remember he bites. H-E-B-I-T-E-S. So once we know the stroke mimics and eliminate these pseudo causes of stroke or stroke mimics, we can confidently approach the stroke patient and treat accordingly. I hope you have enjoyed listening to my lecture. If you have any comments, suggestions, kindly post onto my YouTube channel. But please like and subscribe my YouTube channel, Dr. Srinivas Medical Concepts, and my FB page, Dr. Srinivas Concepts. Thank you. Bye.